How many online accounts do you have? Do you have a second level of security for your online accounts? Join me on this episode as we learn on how to activate two-factor authentication for our online accounts. Welcome to Online Errors. My name is Benjamin Osu Ansa. In today's episode, we're going to look at how to activate two-factor authentication or two-step verification. You might not realize it, but you regularly use two-factor authentication. When you swipe your credit card and you are being asked to provide your PIN code, or when you write a check and you are being required to provide your driver's license. Each is a form of two-factor authentication. The first example requires that you have a card and then you possess a PIN code. And the second requires that you possess a checkbook and then you have a face which matches the mark shot on your ID card. Two-factor authentication provides two ways of proving your identity, and it can also be used to protect your various online accounts. A website by name rockq.com was hacked, and its entire database of passwords were leaked to the public. An analysis was done by security experts on the leaked password, and the results were quite surprising. A list of 5 most used passwords that were leaked through this website were these: 1234, 12345, 123456789. Password: I love you. So imagine if your password was part of this leaked password database to the public. Any person or any hacker who got hold of this password could access your online account without you knowing it, and they could do any changes whatsoever they want to be done on your account. What is two-factor authentication? Two-factor authentication, also known as two-step verification or multi-factor authentication, is widely used to add a layer of security to your online accounts. The most common form of two-factor authentication when logging into an account is a process of entering your password and then receiving a code via text on your phone that you then need to enter. The second layer in two-factor authentication means a hacker or other nefarious individual would need to steal your password along with your phone in order to access your account. There are 3 types of authentication. And the first one is knowledge. Something you know, which can be a password, can be a zip code, an answer to a question, which mostly is your mother's maiden name or the name of your pet, or a pattern like on an Android where you have to swipe series of cells to open the accounts, and so on. The second one is possession. That is something you have, which can be a phone, a credit card, a USB, or a fob. And the third one is inherent. That is something you are. And this can be a biometric. It can either be your fingerprints, it can be your iris, it can be your voice, or it can be your face. How does the second factor works? After you've entered your password, the first authentication factor, the second factor usually arrives by an SMS. That is, you get an SMS with numerical codes which you need to enter to enable you log onto your account. Unlike the PIN code, the two-factor authentication code is one-time use. Anytime you use or you log into your account, a new code will be sent to you. Alternatively, you can have a dedicated authentication application where instead of you receiving text codes, the codes will be rather sent to the authentication application. Popular authentication applications are Google Authenticator, Authy, just to mention a few. Now, should I use an SMS or an authentication application? Now, that depends on you as a user. Many sites offer the use of both SMS or authentication application. Now, receiving codes through SMS messaging is less secure than receiving it through an authentication application. A hacker could intercept the codes or hijack your phone number and advise your carrier to send the code to a different number without your knowledge. Or if you sync your text messages with your computer, a hacker could gain access into your computer and still have access to the authentication code. And also, with the SMS messaging, when you are at a place where you don't have cell signal, you're going to have a lot of challenges receiving the codes. And that sometimes makes it a bit disadvantaged compared to the authentication application, because with authentication application, it doesn't need any cell signal in getting the code to be used as a second factor in logging into your online accounts. Using an authentication application requires a little extra setup, but offers better protection than SMS. To set up an authentication application, you will need to install the application on your phone and then set up a shared secret between the application and your account. This is usually done by scanning a QR code with your phone's camera. Once this is done, an authentication application saves you the steps of needing to enter a code. You simply tap on the application notification to log into one of your accounts. There are other sets of security keys that can be used also as your second factor authentication for your online accounts. An example of that is the universal second factor. The universal second factor is a new standard that aims to make super strong two-step verification simple. To use it, you need to purchase a dedicated security key. These are small devices that plug into the USB port on your computer. Using the universal second factor security key is simple. You just plug it into your computer when prompted and press the button on the top if your key has one. Now, someone may ask, what if I don't have my phone on me as of the time I'm entering or I'm logging on to my online account? Well, many online services let you create a backup code, which you can print out or screenshot. That way, if you don't have your phone on you or you don't have cell signal, you can use that backup code as your second factor authentication, which will allow you to log onto your online accounts. But you need to make sure you keep that backup code in a safe place. Will two-factor authentication make my account more secure? No security product can claim to offer perfect foolproof protection. But by combining two of the three types of authentication mentioned above, two-factor authentication makes it harder to access your online accounts. You do not make your accounts more difficult to attack, but also you make your account less attractive target by the hackers. Think of it in terms of home protection. If you have a home security system in place, you lower the odds of burglary. If you have a large, loud dog in your house, you also lower the odds of burglary. If you combine the security system and the large dog, then your home becomes less attractive a target for people to break into. Most burglars will then move on to find an easy target for a home which has no alarm systems and a big dog. Similarly, two-factor authentication prevents a large number of hackers from attacking your online account. Many will simply move on to find a more easier account and break into them. And should they target you, they will need more than just a password. In addition to your password, a hacker will also need your phone or gain access to the token placed on your phone by the authentication mechanism via phishing attack, malware, or activating account recovery where your password will be reset and two-factor authentication will be disabled. And that alone is extra work for the hacker. So in a nutshell, if you have subscribed to two-factor authentication or two-step verification on your online account, All you need to do is first enter your password. Then you wait for the code to be sent to you via SMS. Then you enter that code, which then grants you access to your online account. Or if you perchance subscribe to authentication app or application, what you need to do is that you wait for the notification on the application, then you tap to verify that it is you. Many sites and services offer two-factor authentication, but do call it a variety of names. So if you have not yet activated your two-factor authentication or two-step verification, you want to do that to keep your second layer of security safe and strong for your online accounts. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Benjamin Osu.